So I went to Fazoli's.
Gross.
For the first.
That's
Why
what-
doesn't anybody like Fazoli's? Now,
You've eaten there, right?
I ate there, and I ordered the carbonara, which I don't really eat a lot of Alfredo. I don't like Alfredo stuff.
What's carbonara?
It's peas, vegetables, bacon on linguine with Alfredo-y sauce and chicken. And I liked it. I thought it was good, but they gave us 2 breadsticks and then walked away, and they never came back. And I was like, why aren't there any? There should be breadsticks more. There should be a pound of breadsticks here.
What are you guys doing with the fucking breadsticks?
There's no other
I
reason.
thought you had to go to the counter to get them.
No, there's no other reason to go inside at Fazoli's because other than getting free breadsticks, that's
and
it.
The decor.
Yeah, you need. Yeah, it looks like a. It looks like a.
Oh.
No, it looks like a Bizarro Land Pizza Hut. It's really weird, but they didn't bring us any breadsticks, and I was looking online to see if they stopped doing it. Like if they're like, no, fuck that, we got to cut back on costs. Like we're not going to bring them around anymore. Yeah. No, they still do it. The place that we went to just didn't want to serve us. So
apparently not.
You remember the level on Super Mario Brothers, the original one, where you get out of the brick area and then the next world is like all orangish red mushrooms that you run across?
Yeah.
That's what Fazoli
Mamma mia, the breadsticks.
You have to hop to the counter to get them.
Break the fucking lamp. That's motherfucker. But no, I went up to the counter as we were leaving because Chris is like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to get my fucking 4 breadsticks that at least I can get that. There's no other reason to go inside. And we made the decision to go inside and eat because of that. So I went up to the counter and I'm like, dude, what's going on? And they're like, can you help you? And I'm like, I just wanted to make sure that you guys still went around with the breadsticks because we didn't have somebody doing that. And he's like, oh, and the other guy goes, oh, I've just been really busy. So
I'm sorry you're fat.
Like,
you need more breadsticks.
They have.
He goes, how many do you want?
Oh no!
And I was like, did you really just ask me that? Because I can do the math in my head, and I would have expected 6 from the start, plus another 6, and then the 4 that I would have got as leaving.
Yeah,
so if you want
breadstick math,
I was like, I'll just take 4. And he goes, okay. And he's like, sorry, man. I'm like, no, it's not a big deal. I just wanted to make sure that you guys still did it, so I didn't expect to come inside and eat because. Let's face it, the only reason to go to Fazoli's and go inside and eat is to get the fucking free bread. You don't get, like, if you go to Olive Garden, the free breadstick, or Brandon, what does Brandon call it? Infinity breadsticks.
Infinity breadsticks. These infinity? Are these infinity?
That's the only reason why you go into Olive Garden. It's not for the atmosphere.
And the soup.
It is.
Or like, no, but the keep it coming stuff. Like I'm fat.
Keep it coming. Bring it on. Bring on all the Andes mints when you're done.
Yeah, funny story about Olive Garden is, I let the waitress know that her tip will have based off of how many Andes mints that I get. And I've had them bring me the big fucking to-go boxes.
Oh, man.
Full of Andes mints.
She's like, is that better, fucker? She just chucks them at you one by one. Ha, ha, not funny, Jim. Yeah, I don't think there's any other reason to go in there. So next time we go, I'm going to be like, hey, because they usually have the little basket with the tongs. And then they go, do you want more fat sticks,
yeah,
fatty?
You know, they don't even have to bring them to me. Just grab the tongs and whip them at me. I'll catch what I can. It's okay.
It goes down like the hot dog. Yeah. But otherwise, we went to another place that Brandon Taco Bell for the kids last night.
I like Taco Bell.
And
I don't care.
I'm
above it.
I swear, I'm just going to start going, can you make me a double-decker, or can you make me the cheesy gordita crunch without the hard shell put chicken in it? Because that's a fucking gordita. I don't know why you would get rid of something off your menu, and I bitched about this before. I don't know why you'd get rid of something off your menu, but keep all the ingredients that make that thing, and then say we cannot make it.
We're sorry, sir.
You don't work there, honey. Or do you? No, okay, he does.
Do not work at Taco Bell.
I worked at Taco Bell.
As soon as the kids came over, yeah, it's incessant. It doesn't stop. As soon as the kids came over, I was like, it was like an hour of them sitting there on their phones, and then I heard snore. And I was like,
really?
Well, that was it.
That was worth all of it.
Yeah.
You know what's better than Fazoli's?
They all come over?
Everywhere.
Well, Vance, that's not
Spaghetti
fair.
Works is
Because have
better.
you been everywhere?
Just about.
I've been everywhere,
Have
man.
you been to La Casa? Because it's fucking gross.
No, it's not.
Yes,
La
it
Casa's
is.
good shit.
La
Dude.
Casa can
Las
go to
Casas
hell.
is disgusting. Our dad used to order that shit all the time when he was part of our lives.
Wait a minute.
And it's
Our dad?
fucking disgusting. Yeah, you remember that?
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah, he would order
I've
that.
repressed a
garbage,
lot of
yeah.
memories.
Amanda likes it too. I'm like, well, I don't know if Brandon likes it. Brandon, do you like it? Brandon?
He writes in, Dear DLUTB. Yes, I love La Casa.
I'm sure he does. He
No,
likes
they
it.
probably got white queso. So
What's wrong with white queso?
he
cheese?
doesn't
Brandon
like it.
and Gavin do not like white queso.
Is it because of the color?
I don't know.
So
Gavin
it makes about
won't-
as much sense.
He
I think
won't
he's
eat
gonna-
it because we went there one time, and he got white queso cheese on something and lost his fucking mind at the table. Gavin, not Brandon. And I tried to trick him, but it didn't work. I'm like, it's just food coloring. No,
No, it's
I
just
want orange cheese.
queso blanco.
I like it.
It comes in a tub at your local Baker's, Kroger's,
Yes, it does.
Hy-Vees and
Mhm.
stuff. Which I live next to Hy-Vee. My friend got some in a tub, and it was like maybe 6 that. And he was like, I got a couple bags of chips too. I was like, I don't need that. He goes, what? And I'm like, give me a spoon. Like
Straw. Nom noms. Daddy like.
But yeah, he ate the whole thing in like a night. It was like it took an hour. to eat it
And
all.
he shit.
I was like,
the
you're not.
following week.
I was like, you're not gonna feel good after eating all
No.
that shit. But
Did he just fall on the
that
floor
feels-
immediately when he was done?
yeah,
What?
I know.
Vance has
Vance
the flu.
Yeah, Vance is very sick right
and
now.
now we're all gonna get it.
Yep.
I've avoided. Everyone around me at work is sick.
You almost got it.
I almost got it. I thought I was getting it on Friday, and then I dodged it.
you went, and then you went, nope, I'm fine.
Yeah, I thought I was like, I'm clammy and I'm cold and I'm hot, and I'm like, oh
You're
no.
gonna get it now.
Knock on woodsies. I was popping vitamins and that Vita-C stuff at work. Emergency.
Yeah,
I'm like,
emergency.
go, vitamin.
I've
Chop it up and
noticed that-
snort them. I don't even care.
I've noticed that a lot of times where they're like, oh, get as much liquids and vitamin C in you as I can. I'm like, that never helps me. Like it doesn't do anything for me.
It sucks.
It makes me feel better that I'm doing that.
Since I knock on wood all around, I rarely get sick, but when I do, I go down like a ton of bricks. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
I'm a baby when I'm sick.
Well, most men
I
are.
turn into a very small baby when I'm
Most
sick.
men do.
The liquid that I'm drinking is coming back out of me, and it's not all pee.
Thank you for the update.
So
Holy
bad.
fuck.
Hmm.
This really is a scary podcast.
It is.
Scary.
Scary.
Speaking of podcasts, it's been a while for us since I've done.
Yeah, you were sick last time we recorded.
So
This episode's gonna be out of order because we wanted to get a Christmas episode in. So
Quithmith.
Christmas.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Keep going.
Let your heart decide. From now on, our problems will be outside.
Motherfucker.
What?
Yeah, we put them out there in the cold.
Oh,
we
okay.
don't keep them inside.
It is snowing. What a good day for a Christmas episode because it's snowing out.
Yeah, going get like my car does okay in the snow, but
It's beginning to look a lot like fuck this.
yeah. But this is the Don't Look Under the Bed podcast.
What kind of podcast?
The podcast for all things comedy horror. Thanks, Vance. What
Look
a
at
setup! What a
that.
setup! I'm one of your hopefully not getting sick hosts.
Aw,
Dan Wonder next to me is
dodging it like the plague, Natalie Rose.
next to her is.
I'm fucking dying.
I'm fucking dying, man.
But your
I'm
name is
sorry,
what?
guys.
Who are you?
I am the very, very sickly Vinny Rose.
But you know what? He's here.
I'm here.
You know what helps? Take a really you just take a hot shower.
He takes like 1,500 showers when he's sick.
Yeah,
all in the
that
same
makes
day.
me feel
He just
better.
stands in the shower until the.
It makes you feel better when I take a shower.
Oh, but no. But when you
But
take
I-
a shower, don't drink the shower water. Like when it's.
I must be drinking my own bath water
Oh,
over here.
boo. But yes, it makes me feel better when anybody takes a shower.
Oh, I got the boost.
It's not required.
Okay, way to staunchly defend that one.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
No, I'm an adult.
I gotta go buy a hoodie after this.
I gotta buy some gloves. I bought a coat on Black Friday. Super excited because I haven't had one in a
Super.
few years, and then now I gotta get gloves because I lost my gloves last year.
Well, our holiday Christmas present that they passed out at work, I didn't get one.
I did.
I was the only person that didn't get
That
one.
sucks.
And they were like, "Didn't you order it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have the receipt right here." Like, I kept the page and screenshotted it and everything. And they're like, oh, "Better luck next year."
Ho ho ho!
Football? What's a football? So yeah, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. I need to buy a new hoodie anyway because this one's getting kind of ratty.
That's what
A hoodie. Was it soft?
It is the most soft hoodie, but
Yeah,
it is
thanks.
really thin.
Yeah.
It's really thin.
Yeah.
It's like,
It says it's a marine layer.
yeah, it's the brand Marine Layer.
Why is it so thin?
I don't know, but you can like
See
see your
through
skin
it?
through it just
Oh,
about.
weird.
But it is very soft. But I almost didn't buy a coat because when you was getting that, man, I'm glad I bought a coat.
Yeah. Another thing that I did over the last couple weeks, I went to go see a movie called Knives Out.
I want to see.
It's really fucking good.
Did you see Martha Stewart?
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard
Excuse
of
me.
this.
But she's not in the movie.
No, she's not.
She's in the background the whole time, just baking stuff.
Do you remember? You know who made the movie Brick? With his name's Ryan Johnson,
No.
with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's on Netflix right now, but it's been out for years and years. Anyway, he also did a movie called Star Wars.
Like the Star Wars?
You've heard of
Yeah, he did a Star Wars that was like 2 years ago.
Oh, I
The-
haven't
it wasn't The
seen
Force
any
Awakens,
of
it was the
those
second
either.
one.
Like the newer one. I've seen the
the
6
Rogue Menace.
beginning ones, but not
No, not that one. That's Gareth Edwards.
the Phantom Menace.
No,
Just
that's
kidding.
that's a man named Jay Lucas.
Jay Lucas.
J. George Lucas. No, but anyway.
Oh, is that George Lucas' son that did that?
Are you being serious? Okay.
Yes, I am.
No, I was kidding.
Oh,
No, but it's a movie. Knives Out. It's a whodunit, kind of like an Agatha Christie
Ooh.
movie.
I think we talked about this a few podcasts
Did
ago.
we?
Because
I
you
must
said
be-
Agatha Christie. And
Okay,
then
moving on. We're not going to. I
maybe
haven't.
you and I talked about it. You know what? I don't remember. That was
It's good.
seems like
It's a good movie.
decades ago.
Anyway,
Vance and I watched a show last night. We started it. I think you've watched it before. It's called The Boys.
Housewives of
fuck
Atlanta.
yeah.
Okay. I think I know a long time.
yeah. The
Yeah,
boys
like,
is
I was
bad.
there.
It's the men.
I know that you talked about it a long time ago, but we didn't watch it until the first episode until last night.
Dude, Simon Pegg's.
I love Simon Pegg.
He doesn't do a very good American accent.
I think he
though.
does great.
It's okay.
I thought it was good.
But that's like one of his biggest downfalls, I think, when it comes to acting. I don't know why they just didn't keep him British. It's like, just do it. Just keep him British. Who cares?
Yeah. The one guy, like the Huey is his name?
Yeah, Huey.
Is he related to Bill Hader?
No,
No.
he's cousins with Lewis.
Oh.
It's Huey and the News. and
Oh,
God,
Dewey Louie.
no.
He looks like Bill Hader, I think.
He kind of looks like a young Bill Hader. But
Yeah.
no, that's not him.
Oh.
That guy is actually a pretty good actor. I like the way he acts. I can't
You're
say
right.
I can't say X. Like I have to say
Act.
X.
He can hold the shit out of a couple of arms.
Yeah. In the comic, that didn't really
Okay,
happen.
so it is a comic. I asked.
It's written by
last
Garth
night.
Ennis.
I also like the Australian guy that's
Garth Murray.
Garth Ennis. Yeah, I wish it was written by Garth Marenghi. Author, writer, Dreamweaver. The Australian guy is Carl Urban.
I like
he
him.
reminds me of the dude that played on Arrow.
I never watched The Arrow.
It's not bad the first
Oh,
few
he.
seasons.
I know who you're talking about. He was other stuff too, but they do look alike.
Yeah, they actually how violent, ridiculous that
Oh,
show
the beginning episode, we're like, what the fuck?
is. Read the comic; it's even worse.
And
It's
then
way worse.
don't like some of these.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
I
Is like
know.
Garth, when he wrote that comic, he's like, I like to make superheroes ridiculously or so they hate.
The
Like that's
anti-hero.
yeah, and he's like, but not all heroes wear capes type.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah.
And for Amazon to pick it up, that's ballsy.
Yeah.
Because that's not something that usually you do.
When did this come out?
In March.
Okay.
And the next season's coming out soon.
Oh, they did do another one.
They're making a ton of money off.
I'm sure it is really. Oh, I'm surprised they haven't canceled it. Yeah, Carl Urban was in Chronicles of Riddick,
And he was also Judge Dredd.
yeah, and he was in Lord of the Rings too.
You're guilty.
Yeah, I like that guy. And then the guy from Arrow, he was. No, the guy that you think that looks like Carl Urban. Yeah.
AC Slick.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep, Mario Lopez.
Dumb.
I can't think.
Yeah, it's a good show. I haven't watched Watchmen yet.
No, I haven't
gonna
either.
start that
But he was
soon.
talking about that last night.
There's Atticus Ross and Nine Inch Nails. Or Trent Reznor does the soundtrack.
Hey, what's the other movie that I showed you? The show that I showed you. The trailer?
Manu Bennett, is the guy that was in Arrow. He was also
okay.
in fighting the Roman gladiator.
Spartacus.
Spartacus. Thank you.
Spot. They had like a good episode, and the rest of it was just
A porno.
terrible. Yeah.
The rest of it was a porno.
Yeah.
What did you just say?
You said no. It was a movie that you said. I can't remember.
You
what
watched
said.
it?
You're like, it was a movie that you showed me.
The trailer I showed you for the HBO show.
Oh yeah, there's a new HBO crime, really interesting crime
With
drama.
Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Like the Ozarks type crime drama.
No, like murder,
Like, sorry guys.
murder, missing person. Ozark's more of a drug thing.
Oh, okay.
No, this looks more serious, like True Detective almost,
Oh God, I love.
but not
I love season
not
one,
True Detective. It's not. Let me look it up.
Yeah,
see, 'cause
season 2 was the flop,
I didn't watch season 2 because I never go back to shows.
but
'Cause
the
I
first and third
get
season
lazy.
are fucking.
Let's see. It is called. Just watched it the other day. The Outsider, and it's written by Stephen King.
The outside.
Oh, okay.
And which explains because I have the library Libby app, and I'm like, why is the Stephen King book everywhere? I thought maybe it was a new book. No, it's
Stay
just
gold, Pony Boy.
it's because not the Outsiders. The Outsider.
Stay pony, golden boy.
Oh, she pees in the urinal. Good stuff. But yeah, we'll be watching that boys show again. We'll update you guys and let you know like the rest of it.
What do we got on the docket today for things we're doing?
Well, since we're doing a Christmas episode,
Quithmouth.
excuse me.
You have to say it like that. You have to say Quithmouth.
I can say we can go to the Christmas Zoo.
CWI. Quithmouth.
All I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth.
No.
Oh shit. The other night, I went to our youngest niece and nephew had their little school Christmas choir play or whatever.
Yeah.
You know the song Baby Shark?
Yeah.
Yeah, they redid it to Santa Shark and it makes no sense. And I was very upset.
The teacher's like, what if we did it to Santa Shark? That'd be funny.
And it's like Elf Shark, Santa Shark, Present Shark. I'm like, this doesn't even make any fucking
it's all
sense.
he's like it's the heritage jazz instructor,
Dreidel
and they just
Shark.
keep playing like notes out of order while they're singing.
No, it
sure,
wasn't the
Jackster.
school that did it.
Oh.
Somebody made this song and then they sung it for the show. I don't know I can't remember which grade, but they were little, obviously. But I'm like,
Dreidel Shark.
no, that was definitely
Did you
not
see
allowed.
a lot of phones? You see a lot of
Oh,
phones.
yeah.
Yeah, when we went to go see that fucking concert, by the way, I didn't want to take photos just on the basis that it's just like, hey, I don't need to fucking photograph everything that I see. And all I see when I go to concerts
is
nowadays, it's some
people's
fucking
phones.
hand in front of my face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, put it down a little bit.
I think it was Beyonce a few years ago that was like on stage. She's like, put your phones away. Let's live in the moment.
Yeah, just
enjoy seeing
I mean,
me
it's
up
Queen
here
Bee.
singing. She's like, yeah, exactly. You listen to Beyonce.
I don't hate Beyonce or anything
No,
like that.
I
Like
don't either.
I think she's super attractive, number one. But number two, she has a point.
Yeah, she's
And-
like, let's live in the now. Watch my show. You guys paid money for this.
Yeah.
She's like, now
No,
that
I want to put it on
I'm
Instagram.
gonna let people know I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anywho's, we're gonna do some Christmas with myth. What are these called? creepypastas. Jeez, my brain went numb there for a moment.
I love.
Ugh.
You like carbonara from Fazoli's at only $5.99.
I think I saw that one.
Dude, just fucking go there and eat it. All right, just calm
No,
down.
his daughter will go randomly get breadsticks and then bring them over.
How do
She'll get 3 or 4 packs.
Now,
to
here's
go.
the thing, Vance. You'll eat a fucking breadstick from Fazoli's.
Girl.
Yeah.
You'll eat a fucking
Girl.
breadstick, bitch.
Bitch. Dale, do you want to read the first one? Or
Yeah,
you want me to
get
read
my
the
phone
first?
out.
This one, okay, mind you, we didn't write these, so they're there's nothing to get scared
A
about.
delicious cheese pizza.
And
just
there's a
for
lot
me.
of typos and misspellings here.
A perfectly behaved boy.
Mhm.
A dark Christmas tale. So wait, it's got 2 titles.
Yeah.
Written by Thomas O.
Oh.
Oh. Do you buy the O? Oh.
Thomas
Uh-huh.
No Face.
Oh no. There was once
No.
a very well-behaved 8-year-old boy named Miles. He did all
No,
the
you
things
don't gotta
that.
read the
Okay,
punctuation.
don't read the periods. Okay, that good children are supposed to do nearly all the time. He ate all his vegetables, unless they were carrots. So then he didn't really eat all his fucking
Lies
vegetables.
already.
He completed all of his high school assignments except for. You see what I mean?
No,
It's-
all of his school assignments.
all of his school assignments except for that one time he forgot to finish his homework.
Uh-huh.
Okay, he was always nice to his friends, unless you count. So we have a theme going here. He's always doing something except for that one thing.
He's a perfectly behaved boy.
Like Miles is a good boy, and he's a piece of shit.
So he eats all his vegetables except for carrots. He does all his homework except for that one time he forgot his homework.
He's
And then
never
he's-
murdered anyone
he's-
except for that one.
He was
time.
always nice to his friends, unless you count that one time that he yelled at his schoolmate Tony. Anyway, and he never spoke back to his parents or got mad at them, with very rare exceptions.
So he did.
This doesn't make any fucking
No,
sense.
Arby's great.
Okay. Yes, he was nearly perfect.
Wait, it just said he was a perfectly behaved boy, and now he's nearly perfect.
No, he's nearly perfect. And he was a joy for his parents to raise almost all the time. This whole paragraph is it's
see
like reading the
a
Bible.
Caldecott medal winner in the future of this man.
Caldecott medal winner. All right. That boy existed more than 30 years ago, and in a manner of speaking, he still exists. So wait, he existed more than 30 years ago. Okay. That boy? Question mark? Nobody
What?
asked the question,
No.
but I'll answer it. He's me, and he will always be a part of who I am. It doesn't start a new paragraph. I can remember every transgression I made as a child, not only because there were so few of them, but because they ended up shaping my life in a way you could never. When I try to think of the reason, it's like looking at a blank sheet of paper in my mind. I can tell you that it wasn't anything that my adult self would find consequential, but I know it felt more important at the time. It was 2 days before, not another paragraph. It keeps going. It was 2 days before Christmas, and the words I spoke felt foreign as they came out of my mouth. Probably because I've never said anything quite like it before. Got some fucking Stephen King writers here. Go away. I don't want you to be here anymore. I don't want you to talk to me ever again. And that's what he said to his parents. No, I could see the hurt in my parents' eyes as I unleashed my tirade. Oh, nice there. Towards them. Even now, I'm surprised at what a profound effect the words from my 8-year-old self had on them. Man, their dismay was mixed with obvious shock upon hearing me lash out. My mother had a look on her face that was confused, sad, and angry all at the same time, except for that one time. My father was hard to read, but I knew he wasn't happy. Sadly, the looks on their faces are among the last memories I have of my parents. Their distraught scowls are burned in my mind. 2 visages that are now a permanent part of my psyche. This is hard to get through. By the time that Christmas Eve came around, all had been forgiven. Whatever. Okay. He yelled at his parents. His parents had a look of dismay and sadness and anger.
Yeah.
And they're still burned into his mind. But Christmas came around, they were forgiven. So wouldn't that kind of wash it away? Whatever the issue had been, it was resolved. My mother cooked a special ham dinner. a special ham dinner, and we had a roaring fire going.
It was just a sandwich.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Because Carl Budding can't.
The house was warm and extra comfortable. And in the hours after dinner, I sat and sipped from a mug of hot cocoa with peppermint. I no longer believed in Santa Claus, but that didn't stop me from feeling a natural Yuletide excitement. This is fucking terrible.
No, it's so good.
This is so
You
bad.
just gotta read between the paragraphs.
I fell asleep. I can't. The syntax is too fucked. I fell asleep that night staring at the dazzling lights and shiny ornaments that clung to our Christmas tree. I vaguely remember my father carrying me to my bedroom and giving me a little kiss on my forehead.
How the fuck old is he? I thought he was an adult.
He was supposed to be 8, from what we gathered.
Oh.
I awoke later that night to the feeling of some... Oh, no.
Dad?
Oh, no. I awoke that night to the feeling of someone poking their finger into my back.
Son finger.
Wake up, kid. It was a voice I'd never heard before. A man's voice with a slight... I don't like where this is going. My eyes opened widely as I instinctively rolled out of bed in an outright panic. I fell to the floor and screamed for my father. I was trapped in the corner of my bedroom. I could see the man's silhouetted figure. I can't. This is so hard to read. Wake up, kid. Trapped in bedroom. I can see this. Oh, so figure looming clearly in front of me. A small red glow came from the cigarette in his hand.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? In Dennis the Menace, where Christopher Lloyd plays the bum walking around town. What you got there? Apple. He stabs it with his knife. He got beans. All right. I froze in fear of the stranger who had invaded my home. So he screamed and opened his eyes really wide, and then he froze in fear. The man spoke to me again. Quiet down. He can't hear you right now anyhow. His daddy.
He never said he was yelling for his dad.
He did. He said,
"Oh,
in the I could see
scream
him,
for my father."
Scream for my father.
Okay.
I know it's terrible. I know.
No, it's really good writing. I got so lost in it.
He put his cigarette to his lips and inhaled deeply. As he did, his face was illuminated by the red glow, and I could see his deep-set eyes, his dirty fingers, his long black hair. That's the fucking bum from Dennis the Menace. That Christopher Lloyd plays. You kids look it up at home if you're playing along. But kid, I can hear you. I can hear you better than anybody, and in ways you can't even understand. The reason this makes any sense is beyond me, because that had nothing to do with the damn story at all. He pointed at the side of his forehead as he spoke. Oh, he's talking about him being his head. Oh, yeah. God. I didn't reply, but even through my fear, I couldn't help but wonder who the man was. He nodded as if he knew exactly what he was thinking. So you'd like to know who I am? Well, I'm the guy who's turned into your mind. I'm the dude disguised as a dude playing another dude. I'm the guy who's been around for a long time. And most importantly, I'm the guy who gives kids what they ask for.
It's like...
He looked straight into my eyes, invading my mind and reading my thoughts. No, kid, I ain't Santa. He pointed with a thumb to his chest. I ain't Santa.
He's got 2 thumbs.
And I'm the last guy you want to deal with in a dark alley. He was agitated. You stupid? Did I really look like that fat fucker? No, man, I'm much better. I don't judge and I don't discriminate. I give kids what they ask for. I'm your pusher, man. Anyway, the good kids and the bad kids. This goes on. What have you gotten me into? I finally found the courage to speak, even though he seemed to have no trouble answering my questions before I even asked them. That doesn't make any sense either. I didn't ask for anything. My voice trembled as I spoke. Sure you did. Your parents wanted you wanted your parents to go away. I heard that loud and clear. Loud and clear. Not very nice of you. Because I'm doing. Because it's the only way I can get through this.
Oh, okay.
Because I picture him with a little top hat, and he's got like dirty fingers, but a little like
he's got the gloves with the no fingers on it.
But he
like
talks
cut off.
But he talks like a snake oil salesman in 1920.
Yes.
Like I'd say that makes you a bad little boy. But don't worry, like I said, I don't discriminate. No matter what the ad says about me, I'm not a racist. Anyway, but I don't want them to go away. ... I made my family disappear.
Yeah.
He shook his head. You said it. You meant it at the time. I heard it. I don't hear all the kids, just some of them.
Mama says alligators are so mad because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
I don't hear all the kids, just some of them. And I hear you loudest of all.
So I'm like half demon maybe, but like I don't really pay attention, so I'm just drunk.
Fucking complete tripe. Okay. Tears began streaming down my face as he pressed on. No, wait, sorry. But their presence didn't seem to change the visitor's demeanor towards me. Well, kid, I just wanted to meet you. Okay, he's done.
Bye.
He just crashes through the bedroom window.
Like the Kool-Aid man trying to get out of the house.
Bye-bye. And see whose voice has been screaming in my head the past few days. He turned and started walking towards the door. I gotta get started. It's time to give you your gift and get a gift for myself too.
Oh no.
Merry fucking Christmas, kid.
He goes and rapes his dad.
He flicked his cigarette into the corner of the bedroom as he passed the doorway.
Well, that's not nice. God.
And then punched my little sister.
Yeah.
Repeating himself as he walked down the hallway in the direction of my parents' bedroom. Merry fucking Christmas.
Hey!
The door to my bedroom shut, even though the man himself made no effort to close it. Okay. I screamed aloud for my mother and father again. To this day, I still have no idea if they heard me. Why didn't you just fucking ask them? I wish, like did you just go, okay, well, I'll never speak about this again.
Remember that Christmas Eve I was screaming for you? Did you hear me? No? Okay, thank you.
No, your father and I were trying something new. I wish I could tell you that bravely ran out of my bedroom to warn them, but I had just huddled in the corner, crying and afraid.
Putting the cigarette out before it burned my carpet.
He starts smoking.
Yeah.
He's like, oh God, I hate Winston's. I listened intently for sounds of struggle or for my parents yelling, but I couldn't hear anything. Okay. All right. Hours passed and I could see the outside sky turn from black to gray, then to orange. I waited for my mother and father to find me. The orange sky turned blue as the day wore on, but they never came. And an absolute silence hung over the house. Yet I still sat there. What?
Wow, you're just fucking lazy at this point.
It went.
Do you have to pee?
He's like, I gotta take a shit. He's like looking out. Is it still orange out? Yeah, it's still orange out. Yet I still sat there. It was well into the afternoon when I finally left my room. I knew I couldn't stay there forever.
Well, fuck, you were sure trying to.
I tiptoed slowly to my door and opened it only a few inches, looking out from inside my room. The house appeared normal. Everything that I could see was in place. I pulled the door open all the way and almost expected the man from the night before to jump out at me, but that didn't happen. My voice broke the silence. Mom? Dad? No response. Report ad.
That didn't go there. That's a copy paste. My bad. You might see that again. I tell you, I copied these.
No response. Report ad. Trying my best to stay quiet, I walked slowly down the hallway towards my parents' bedroom. Their door was ajar. Dad, I put my hand on the door. Mom, I pushed it open and looked inside. Mommy, Mom. I pushed it open and looked inside. Next paragraph. I don't actually remember what I saw. To be clear, I am perfectly aware of the fate that befell my parents. Okay, based on what was told to me later on.
Oh, okay.
But I have no memory of the actual sight that I witnessed during that one awful moment. It's a traumatic event that my sane mind, you have one mind, by the way, has blocked out. Even today. Fuck. You'd think with this type of writing, he's got 4. Even today, when I recreate the events of that night in my dreams, the scene fades to white as I push the door open. My next memory is of me laying down in the street directly outside my house, screaming and flailing like Little John in Men in Tights, where he falls in the little river.
Yes.
I can't swim. My arms wildly. The Porter family, probably shouldn't give the last name out, who live next door, witnessed my distress through their living room window. Mr. Porter exited the house and rushed over to me to shut me the fuck up.
Kicks him in the face.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm trying to sleep. Oh wait, it's midday. Never mind.
Your parents and I are trying something new. Anyway,
Ugh.
he could tell something was seriously wrong. They're dead. It was all I could say. I repeated it again and again. Mr. Porter followed closely behind her husband. Mrs. Porter followed closely behind her husband. Mr. and Mr. Yeah. Hank, what's going on out there? No, it's Terry from American Dad.
Yeah.
Her husband and comforted me as he went to check inside my house. A minute later, he exited and promptly vomited.
He likes to exit on the house a lot. That's fair.
So the dude went inside, Mr. Porter went inside the house. A minute later, he exited and promptly vomited into the bushes.
New guy's in the corner puking his guts out.
Oh my God. Nobody ever told me the whole story of what they had found in that bedroom. But earlier he said that I'm perfectly aware of the fate that befell my parents.
Right.
This is fucky.
No, this is good writing.
It was explained to me that a very bad person had broken into my house and murdered my parents, even though I already knew as much. What was held back from me at the time, the fact that they had been decapitated. The cuts were clean, almost surgical. Both bodies were laying on the bed as if they'd been asleep when it happened. The worst part was that their heads were missing. Not to be found anywhere. Their bodies were sliced open, and strange symbols were drawn on the wall in blood. Helter skelter. Pigs must die. Other than the carnage itself, absolutely no physical evidence was discovered at the scene. Not one fingerprint, stray hair, or footprint was left behind. Nothing. Next paragraph. The police listened to my story once I was ready to talk. I found out later I was considered to be an unreliable witness because most of the details of my story didn't match the lack of physical evidence.
Yeah, because I'm dumb as shit.
Well, yeah.
Wouldn't that also make you...
I was going to say, not only that, but of course they didn't, because the way you fucking write is any given to the way you talk. You're bad at this.
There was a dog, and I shit the bed because I sat in the corner the whole time.
Go back out in the street. You're done.
The worst part was the head was gone.
Yeah, and it looked like it got cut, but I don't know where I went.
Dope as fuck.
Dope as fuck. A specially trained detective.
Uh-huh.
Like it's written by a fucking child.
He brings his badge out, especially trained detective.
Show me on the doll where they touched. And my new therapist, you didn't mention your old one.
Yeah, exactly. Where'd that come in at?
Sat down with me to review what I had told the police earlier. The man, he wasn't wearing gloves. Nowhere does it say who says that in this story, by the way. What? It doesn't say said the detective or asked the therapist.
It's not detective, it's special trained detective. Get it right.
I'm an STD, a specially trained detective.
Oh.
I shook my head no. Next sentence. I clearly remembered a cigarette in his hand and there was no glove. Michael Jackson.
This is written by a 13-year-old that just wanted to put the word fuck in a story.
Well,
and then
yeah.
I'm sorry, if you're a listener and you wrote this,
you're fucking terrible at this, and call me so I can yell at you about this. You're bad. Stop writing.
555-555.
Please get a hold of us at the Don't Look in the Bed podcast. I will destroy your life because this is shit. No one should ever have to read this tripe. And he threw the cigarette on the ground when he was done smoking it. I nodded yes. And he closed the door when he left your room. So all these questions it's like, okay, being a detective is standard practice to ask questions like this, but they're
I'm not going to remind you again. He's a specially trained detective.
Oh,
he will ask questions like this.
Sorry, STDs are usually trained to... Okay. I shook my head no. Then he thought about it.
If he did it really fast, like he was possessed.
In the same sentence, I shook my head no. Then he thought about it, and I nodded my head yes.
No, it says I shook my head no, then thought about it.
Oh, I thought it said then he.
And nodded my head no.
I wasn't really sure.
Question?
And no, he wasn't really sure, but earlier he said he closed the door without even touching it.
Yeah.
The detective took notes as I talked. He nodded his head pleasantly. But even that, excuse me, even then I could see
There's only one.
like I said, their parents were trying something new. But even then I could see the strange look on his face when I told him that the man had read my thoughts. The one thing I never told the police, which you probably should have.
I wonder if he's got a book that says "Dum Dum Stops."
It's just a owl and a picture of women. I don't understand what I'm reading here. You don't get it? Then it's too nuanced for you. The police I never told the police was that 2 days before the murders, I'd asked my parents to be gone. You didn't ask, first off. You said, go away.
Yeah.
The sketch artist came by afterwards. He started off by drawing some Smurfs for me. Knowing this is a complete...
This is about what your IQ is, right?
No,
a Smurf?
Knowing this is a complete fucking... It's a complete, just horrible story that's been completely made up. I love the fact that he started off by drawing Smurfs.
I'm gonna warm up to this guy. Do you know what a Smurf is?
He painted himself blue. You know, I'm kind of a Smurf myself. If you have, I'm a Smurf aficionado.
Now let me tell you all about.
He comes up to him. I'm sorry, your parents were Smurfed.
Would you like to have a Smurf?
God, Smurf it. If I could just get this character right. Okay.
That's what the specially trained detective was. He was actually a Smurf. So the drawer guy was like, "Hey, I'll draw some Smurfs for you since you've seen one."
It does sound like Gargamel.
Yeah.
He started off by drawing some Smurfs for me. Then he slowly began working me up to the task of remembering what the murderer looked like.
He draws a character of it.
This has gone on for 3 pages now. I appreciated his effort. Next sentence, when he was done, the picture looked somewhat like how I remembered the man, but not exactly.
At least that's your fault then, because you're not giving him the right clues. Like they're trained to do this based off what you say. So if you say he's got an ear on the middle of his forehead, then they have to draw it.
This goes on and on.
Uh-huh.
I was taken in by my mother's sister, Aunt Janine, and her husband, my uncle Anton. You know them. Just the wackiest couple in all of Arizona.
They're
I don't know where
clowns.
they're at. As unlucky as I had been with the deaths of my parents, I have to say that I was nearly lucky to have those two in my life. Other than my parents, they were probably what does this shit have to do with anything? I'm skipping some of this.
Oh, you committed. Read it.
Hey, they're probably the best people in the world that I could have lived with.
TLDR, the STD.
Looking back in the events of my life, I have to say that I miss them every bit as much as I miss my parents. Janine worked as an office manager. Like, seriously?
He's building you up for something.
But she took, I'm very sure.
I don't know.
But she took a leave of absence in the first few months. After that, she went to go get some coffee. Did I tell you about the time she bought a shirt?
She was actually a Smurf.
Jesus Christ.
She took a leave of absence to go get coffee.
Yeah.
Smurf in her pants.
Anton, the guy. Security guy, and he was the kind of man who always had a smile on his face. So much so that it would be impossible for a person to even imagine him angry. He made instant connections with people, and he had confidence about him that made people want to seek his approval, whether consciously or unconsciously. Janine and Anton didn't have any children of their own, and they'd always been very generous towards me. We've already established that. I knew them well, so it was easy for me to slip into their lives. Again, already established. I put a huge effort into making sure that I gave them trouble, and I was asking for nothing. Again, already established. My conversation with the murderer was never too far from my thoughts, and I could hear an he spelled it wrong. Amalgamation. I fucking hate this kid. Of his comments ring through my mind daily. I give kids what they ask for, the good kids and the bad kids, even though he doesn't hear all the kids. He only hears some
of them.
Of the kids.
I'm not going to listen to those fuckers down the street.
It's like Bruce Almighty when he's doing the prayer thing on the fucking computer. Anyway, I didn't know what the good kids were given by this man, but I understood all too clearly what had happened to the bad children. It was.
God, I didn't realize it was this long.
Yeah.
It still goes.
How long does it go?
Page.
Oh my God. It was 2 months before I felt like Are we gonna have enough time?
Yeah, you just finished.
It was 2 months before I felt like I was ready to go back to school. Janine and Anton and even the school administration were very helpful and understanding throughout the whole process. My classmates welcomed me back with smiles and words of encouragement. It's often that said that children can be cruel, but I think it's even more true that they can be sweet and supportive. I really can't emphasize how much. I can't really emphasize enough how much returning to all my friends helped me in the healing process. My anxiety began to ebb, and my therapist proclaimed that it was a major milestone for me.
Is that the new therapist?
Hey, look, everybody, Miles' parents are dead.
Yeah, despite the progress of my psychological healing, there were always several thoughts that I couldn't get rid of myself. The first was the guilt that I felt about asking for my parents to go away. I knew full well that the murder of my parents was in no way my fault, but there was a way, the nagging voice that would let it drop. I'd asked them to be taken away, and that's exactly what happened. This has been established at least 20 times.
Did you know that he asked his parents?
Holy shit. The second assured me that thought that was the murder returning into following Christmas. Initially, all the adults assured me that he would be arrested quickly. Then when that didn't happen, I was promised that there was no way that he could ever get his hands on me and that I was safe. They made sure that I was never left alone, and when Janine went back to work, she only did so part-time so that she could pick me up and when school left out. Oh my God. I also had the difficulty with the more unbelievable aspects of what happened that night. I try to convince myself on a daily basis that the murderer was just a normal man and that my memory of those fantastical elements was merely my own imagination betraying me. But just like the guilt I felt, the troubling thought that this man was just more than a man didn't subdue entirely. Again, for victims of trauma, anniversaries can often trigger symptoms like depression and fear. For me, Christmas was the anniversary of my worst memory. And as summer ended, Janine and Anton, along with my therapist, your new therapist, decided early on that Christmas wouldn't be celebrated in the household that year. Nobody felt that I'd be ready for it, and they were right. Since we knew that Christmas was going to be ordinary for us, Janine and Anton made sure to throw me a huge birthday party in October of that year. When I turned 9, how old is he now?
10.
Jesus. It seemed almost like the community turned out that we had a bounce house of ponies and even a magician.
Fuck yeah.
Everyone, including me, had a great day.
Was it a magician?
This is like what I did on my summer vacation for a fucking 2-year-old.
Do you think he had to write this, but the teacher's like, all right, make sure it's 2 million words.
I'm skipping. I can't do this anymore. I'll get to the good part here. We made it to the shop.
There's a good part?
I ordered the double scoop of chocolate fudge brownie.
Not unlike the one in Japan.
I turned away, but the colorful lights clouded my vision, enlarging scope, blah, blah, blah. My Janine quickly came over to the side of the table. Oh my God, she grabbed me, hugged me tightly, or sick holding on, nodded my head, yes, yada, yada, yada. When does the guy come back and eventually kill this kid? You guys remember something? You don't worry now because you're going to get it. Oh, here we go.
Yep, we're back.
All right. The dream I had that night was unlike any other I had before. I was in what appeared to be a large garage, the type where mechanics worked on cars. All around me, automotive parts were spread out along the ground. Tires stacked up, an old rusted chassis, filled the entire center of the room. Grime dripped from the walls. The area was lit by a single overhead lamp. I instantly knew I was dreaming, even though it was the first time I'd experienced a lucid dream.
What page are you on? You lost.
I'm on 10.
Okay.
And I wish I was done.
You're getting there.
From the corner of the garage, I heard a metal clanging. I turned around to face the sound, and out of the darkness, the man who'd taken the lives of my parents emerged. So I did end up on the right page to end this
right
shit.
To it.
Because Jesus,
it's like you
secretly
wrote this.
I'm very angry that I'm writing.
You secretly wrote this.
He spit some phlegm onto the ground and wiped his mouth before addressing me. Hey, kid,
make
don't
the
worry.
Spittoon noise.
Ding. I ain't gonna hurt you. I'd like to though. I'd really like to be able to shut you up, but it didn't work out that way. He still has a chance.
No, didn't he have a different accent?
No,
You're doing the snake oil accent.
I know, but it's the writing. It's throwing me through a loop. Hey kid, don't worry. I ain't gonna hurt you. I'd like to though. I'd really like to be able to shut you up, but it didn't work out that way.
It don't work out that way.
Okay. Sorry.
That's better.
That sounded
All right.
sarcastic.
He's despite my grimy surroundings, and perhaps because it was just a dream, this didn't feel like a place of anger and fear. Unlike the year before, I was able to find my voice right away. Why do you want to shut me up? I hardly ever even speak.
Why? Oh fuck.
Wow. When you consider some of the other obvious questions, I know it may sound strange that I chose to open with that. Who was this man, and why did he take interest in me? Oh no. Those were the questions I was really thinking, but my participation in the dream was guided as if my actions weren't wholly my own. That's established in the first paragraph when you talked about being in a dream.
Did you know that he wished his parents to go away?
Fuck! Where did you find this? I didn't
know it was gonna make you this angry.
It's so bad. When you consider some of the whatever, the man finally responded, "Hell, you quiet ones are the loudest of all. Y'all never stop talking."
What?
Thinking.
Thought after thought. You kids can't ever just shut your brains off. Give me just one loudmouth. Those kids never.
This kid did shut it.
Yeah, tell you what, if it was up to me, I'd just rip all your fucking heads off and be done with it. Well, we've established that when you kill people, it's a clean cut, though. He said fucking.
Ooh.
But it don't work that way. I ain't allowed to hurt a child.
Ooh.
I looked around and came to the solution. This isn't my dream, is it? That's a stupid question. You ever dreamed of a place like this? Of course not. So that means that you can't dream of anywhere else in the world if you've never been like, of course not. This is my dream, kid. I'm parked right outside your house. I just wanted to take a moment to peek in on you. What? My fear of this man, which had been otherwise controlled to this point, slowly began creeping back.
Was it controlled? Because you just had a freak out in the ice cream store.
Not only that, but it slowly came creeping back. Yeah, we're almost out of time here. He saw the look of despair spread across my face. Have you been good boy this year? He gave a little chuckle. Actually, yes, you have been. Do you remember what I said last time? I give kids what they ask for, the good ones and the bad ones. I shook my head. I didn't ask for anything. I spoke with confidence that I didn't really feel.
Just finish. Come on.
Sure you did. You kids always ask for something, and you don't worry now, because you're going to get it.
Ooh.
The room and the man began to fade away. See you next year, kid. I got the feeling that you and I are going to be part of each other's lives for a long time, as he's saying all this as he's walking away.
I feel
Those were the last words I heard. Pure whiteness consumed me. I don't know what that feels like, but okay. And then I slept peacefully. My eyes opened. Outside the window, I could see the gray sky that signaled the approaching dawn, and then orange, and then blue. The house was eerily quiet, too quiet. I stayed fixed in my bed on the floor.
Here we go.
I stayed fixed in my bed on the floor.
He has a port.
Listening for signs of life from my aunt and uncle, but I could only hear my own heartbeat. I wanted to sit up and look over to them, but I was afraid of what I'd find. The dream felt so real. I wasn't sure what to think. I continued to listen. Please, I whispered, let me hear them breathe. I fucking hate this kid and his shitty stories.
I'm gonna beat my wife when I wake up.
Several minutes passed. I still heard nothing. Okay. Tears began streaming down my face and my pillow became wet. I knew deep inside that I'd eventually have to go look and see if they were okay. I couldn't lay on the floor all day. My gut instinct told me that I'd get up and witness what I up there, blah, blah, blah. Drawing upon my deepest strengths, I put my hands over my eyes and sat up. There was no blood, no gore. I pulled my hands away from my face. I couldn't see Uncle Anton's chest clearly rise and fall. He was sleeping peacefully, yada, yada, yada. I smiled, then I laughed in relief. I left the room with the intent of getting something to eat. Eat. Most likely a bowl of cereal, because that's important to the story.
Most likely he was going to pull the bowl out of the cupboard, put a spoon in it, have some Captain Crunch. I got the Oops All Crunch berries. And then I put milk in the bowl.
Now fully relaxed, I passed through the living room on the way to the dining area. My uncle and agreed that we wouldn't be celebrating Christmas this year, yet there sat a gift at the box atop the dining room table. I wondered if they changed their minds. There was no... The box lid was wrapped separately from the box itself. I lifted it up, then peered inside. There was no fade to white for me that time. No, I saw exactly what was in the box, and simultaneously 3 truths occurred to me. The first truth was that the man had been in my house. Despite all the security measures, like all the paid security, and he'd gotten in and out without raising a single alarm. He's 007. The second truth was that the man had been right. I had asked for something without even realizing. The third truth was the singing acceptance that his visits would be an annual occurrence. Stood in the chair, dries out, the ultimate truth, and blah, blah, blah. Of course, nobody was really perfect. There was slip-ups, blah.
You missed like an important part. Go back. I stood on the chair, staring into my parents' dried-out eyes. We're still on the
decapitated heads were both in the box. I'd said I wanted them back, and the man, however, he did it. He had heard me. I granted my wish.
In the box.
The ultimate truth that I had learned that day was that there could be no mess ups with my behavior, and I could want for nothing. Of course, nobody was perfect. Blah, blah. Okay, I can't.
Okay,
that was.
I was being consistently watched, and my mind was being continuously invaded. Bad actions would be severely punished, and good behavior would lead to its own sick and twisted reward. And that's the story of how a very well-behaved boy became the perfectly behaved boy. And as a perfectly behaved boy, all of my desires had to be held in check. Emotionally speaking, I had to become less human so that the visitor would have no fuel for the wicked game he played. Of course, nobody's truly perfect, and there were slip-ups throughout the year. Times when I inadvertently made a wish for and to ask for something. Those slip-ups were very costly to me, but I don't care to recount to the full extent of them here. I think that I've given myself enough for tonight. I am weary and beaten. But what I will tell you is that after 30 years, okay, he's 30 some years old now.
Wow.
I am no longer afraid to say that I want the painful memories to go away. I don't want them anymore. I even said it out loud. I want the memories to be gone. It's cold outside now. It's getting late. I think I'll make myself a cup of hot cocoa with some peppermint before turning in. That will make me happy. For the first time in ages, I am calm and at peace. Looking out the window, I can see all the pretty lights and the eaves of the houses. I don't think I ever really had a chance to appreciate just how festive they make everything look. For a long time, I just didn't care. But now, I'm going to take a few minutes to enjoy them while I can. Good night, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Terrible.
How at the age of 30-something can you write something so fucking bad?
I don't think that's true. I don't think the guy I'm turning 31.
So can I say something?
Go
real
ahead.
Quick?
Yeah, you haven't talked.
It's very sad. James Kennedy passed. Radio. The James Radio Kennedy, the dude that the Cuba Good Radio was based on.
Oh, that guy. Oh, yeah, he's dead.
Yeah. Oh. After a stint in the hospital, the hospice, he gave up.
Yeah, he's pretty old.
73.
So, with that story, it had a beginning, it had a middle, and it had an end, and there was no fucking nonsense in it.
Should have read the last two because they were much shorter.
So, thanks for that story. I appreciate that.
I'm a better writer.
You said 9 sentences in that story, and guess what? They say
got more information.
I got more information that I actually fucking needed because that story was fucking terrible.
Maybe we'll do the next two.
Thomas O, don't ever write anything ever
a
again.
Couple weeks for Christmas. Do the other two I have on there that aren't long. Maybe we could bring them out next week.
It'd be one thing if it was like a 10-year-old that wrote that story.
Oh, we don't know how old he is.
I'd still rip.
But even then, I'd be like, stop what you're doing and think about what you're saying.
Stop doing it.
Everything that there was. First off, if you didn't know the end of that fucking story, then you're an idiot.
Hey,
of course, his
head
head
with peppermint. He had some Captain Crunch in there. I mean, there was all the things.
Janine and Anton, I knew way more about them than I did your fucking parents, who were the crux of the story.
Did you know that he had a new therapist?
Idiot!
If Miles wants to get a hold of us, defend himself.
Fuck you, Miles.
Get a hold of us. How do they
Fuck
do
you.
it?
Fuck you.
Isn't that kid's name?
Yeah, I don't know.
Thomas O was the author.
Thomas O, go fuck yourself.
Well, how would they get a hold of us?
Oh,
So Thomas O is on his way to our house right now. I didn't write it.
They can reach us at don'tlookunderbed.podcast.net. Sorry. It's been a while.
So flabbergasted
It's been a while.
From this story.
Vance, do it for me.
So look under the bed. Email us. Look under the podcast. gmail.com.
All right. That was my brain hurts.
Merry Christmas.
We'd like to thank each and every one of you for sitting through that.
Remember the last Christmas one we did? I was singing the
Belsh.
yeah, and then we sang the Fruity Pebbles.
Was it Fruity Pebbles song? Oh yeah,
Pebbles in our bowls.
Fruity Pebbles.
I can't believe that this been a year now.
Bonnie,
Ah!
my pebbles. Sorry, Fred. Okay, well, it's been a day, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, we might. Oh, fine. Oh, fuck it. I don't know.
Just yeah,
They're shorter.
yeah.
I think they're fun. I like fruit puffs. I think they're
Okay.
F-U-N.
Thank you once again for each and every listener out there, and we hope to hear
Except
we
so.
see you from here. This is all. This, yeah, fuck you, Thomas O. Thank you again for listening. Don't Look at Bed podcast for all things comedy horror. Have a Merry Quithmith from you and yours, or is it to you and yours?
You and
Okay,
from
Dan.
our house to your house.
From Dan Wonder to
Natalie Roth.
and McDonald's.
McDonald.
All right, guys. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.